Hey everybody, Ben here. If you're wondering why I have my vest on, it's because today I want to talk about communications under pressure. Now, if you and your team don't already practice communications under pressure, I'm talking about two-way radio communications, then you need to start. If you talk to any dispatcher or even police officer for that matter, and they talk about when things go bad, the radio communications and the transfer of information gets degraded quickly, and the people that are supposed to be helping you don't know what's going on. So when I'm out running around, I have this acoustic ear tube, I don't know if you can see it, that plugs into the microphone on my radio right here. Now I don't like the two-piece wire sets that go all the way to the radio, because if my acoustic earpiece fails or breaks, I can just pop this wire off and I still have communications. But I got to thinking, well, you know, I really don't train for high intensity type situations with two-way radios. So that's something I'm going to start doing. Well, I have one of these handy dandy Impact Sport electronic earmuffs that I'm sure everybody's familiar with them, but it's got the microphone on each side and volume control. But another thing it has is it has a MP3 player input, which I use to listen to music if I'm shooting by myself. But another function for this is you can order fairly inexpensively this wire right here that's got a 3.5 millimeter plug on one end and a 2.5 on the other. And the 2.5 millimeter plug is what plugs into here on my mic. I do have a mic that has a 3.5 millimeter plug on it, but the 2.5 is more common, and that's just what I use in my gear. So I thought I'd give it a try, and I just plug it into the headset, and it works wonderfully. So now you and your team can go out and practice some high stress situations and practice the communication along with it. I keep my microphone kind of central. A lot of times it's here, but it slid up before I started making the video. That way I can press the push to talk button with either hand. So if I have my weapon in one hand, I can reach back and communicate, or if for some reason this hand's full, I can communicate with this hand if I don't have my weapon drawn. But if you start practicing, if you have access to a move and shoot type range or a piece of private land, try communicating while you're in the middle of a gun battle, and then record it and sit back and listen to it, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Because when your adrenaline's pumping and you're trying to acquire a target, or you're trying to defend yourself, your keystroke tends to be short, which means you push the button after you start talking and you let it go before you stop talking. So what you said was, "I need help," and what the person on the other end heard was and it was over with. You know, they can usually tell by the tone of your voice that something's very wrong. They just don't know what it is. You know, relaying locations. You know, try to do some moving and shooting stuff while you're relaying your location to your team that's trying to come to your aid. Try to remember the things that they said to you. They may be relaying vital information to you that you need, but you're in the zone. You're shooting, you're moving, you're watching out for return fire, And a lot of times it's hard to separate the adrenaline and the rush and what you're thinking with information that's coming into you. It's hard to process that information. You know, try to put yourself in a stressful environment. If you have the if you have the stuff to do that, you know, maybe some smoke or some flashbangs, or you know, or mock flashbangs. You can make smoke. You can make things that go pow. Have a couple of your team members firing blanks, yelling obscenities, whatever, whatever comes to mind. But try to create that environment. There's a reason that in the military, you during training, you go through a course that you're crawling under barbed wire while it's dark and it's wet and there's flashbangs going off and there's the sound of automatic gunfire all around you, and there's a reason for that, because it makes you get used to that environment and know how to function in that environment. And while you might be the best shooter in the world, if you can't communicate, you're out there on your own. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. Let me know what you think. This has been signing out.